Imagine waking up one morning to sirens blaring. Soldiers patrol the streets. Your city, once vibrant and alive, is eerily quiet. You learn that the military now governs your country. Your fundamental rights, freedom of speech, assembly, even movement, are suspended. This, my friends, is the stark reality of life under martial law. It's a scenario that might seem ripped from the pages of a dystopian novel, yet it's a reality that many around the world have faced and continue to face today. But what exactly is martial law, and why is it suddenly dominating headlines? In essence, martial law is the imposition of military rule over civilian populations. It's typically declared in times of extreme crisis when civilian authorities are deemed incapable of maintaining order or security. Think natural disasters, widespread violence, or even the threat of war. When martial law is declared, the military essentially steps into the shoes of the government, assuming powers that would normally be unthinkable in a democracy. This can include everything from imposing curfews and restricting movement to conducting searches and seizures without warrants. In essence, the rule of law as we know it is temporarily suspended, replaced by the rule of the military. In recent years, we've seen a disturbing resurgence of martial law in countries around the globe. From Myanmar, where a military coup plunged the nation into chaos, to Ukraine, where the Russian invasion triggered a state of martial law, the imposition of military rule has become a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and democracy. But why now? The reasons are complex and varied, often stemming from a toxic brew of political instability, social unrest, and economic hardship. In some cases, governments may resort to martial law to quell dissent and maintain their grip on power. In others, it may be a last-ditch effort to restore order in the face of genuine threats. Whatever the reason, the consequences for ordinary citizens are often dire. Section 4, the high cost of control, civil liberties under fire. The most immediate and chilling impact of martial law is the curtailment of civil liberties. Rights that we often take for granted, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, are often the first casualties. The media is censored, dissent is silenced, and citizens may find themselves living in fear of arbitrary arrest or detention. The justification for these restrictions is often national security or the need to restore order. However, the reality is that martial law can create a climate of fear and repression, where basic human rights are trampled upon in the name of stability. Section 5, order and oppression, a double-edged sword. The debate over martial law is a complex one, fraught with ethical and moral dilemmas. On the one hand, there's no denying that in times of extreme crisis, swift and decisive action may be necessary to restore order and protect lives. In such situations, the military, with its structure and discipline, may seem like the only institution capable of filling the void. However, the potential for abuse is undeniable. History is replete with examples of martial law being used not to restore order, but to suppress dissent, consolidate power, and commit human rights abuses. The very nature of martial law, with its suspension of due process and legal protections, creates a dangerous breeding ground for impunity and injustice.